Good Monday morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I've got my coffee sessions mug here full of hot coffee, so it's going to be a great day. I can just tell. Got my buddy Jack right here begging for for some cookies. Oh yeah, life is good. Life is good. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see who we got hanging out with us. And while y'all ain't doing that, hit that thumbs up over there, y'all. Let's see here. Where are my comments at? Here we go. We got Paul Stewart here this morning. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you. Mr. Larry Galt, one of my favorite Texans, says, good morning, everyone. August rain in the amount of 2 inches, a rare event. All righty. Good morning, Larry. Thomas Grimm is here. High in the 70s to mid 80s this week in eastern central Illinois. Almost no rain. All right. Darren Birds is here this morning. How you doing, Darren? Mr. Gary Hammett's here. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, George. How are you this morning? We got Bart Bixel hanging out with us over there on Facebook. Good to see you, Bart. And there's my favorite solar man right there, Ryan Ballard. This morning, Dave and Coffee Peak. Ryan had a pretty cool video out. Let's see it. Well, yesterday I think he released it, talking about the deal he got on his K40. So anxious to see more videos about that, Mr. Ballard. That was pretty cool. I'd get one if I could find a deal like that locally. Mr. Kevin Els is here. How you doing, Kevin? Dennis Nolan is here. Good morning, Dennis. Dave Mack is hanging out on Facebook here. Morning, 64 degrees. Expected high of 82. Beautiful day for a walk in the North Georgia mountains for Jax and me. Yeah, it's going to be a great week, I think. I think there's a chance. You know how they do? They just kind of throw a little rain in there. That way they're right if it does and right if it doesn't. But much cooler temperatures this week, which I am really excited about because, man, it's been hot, humid. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked that it's going to be much cooler this week. Clyde CNC's here. Good morning, Clyde. Wild Bill Harrison's hanging out over on Facebook. How you doing, Bill? Hope all is well in Plainfield. Robert Cool. Good morning, sir. David Davis, he keeps coming back. We can't run him off. That's a good deal. And I noticed, I don't know if he's the one or not, but I noticed we got another new subscriber the other day. We're up to like 132. 132 subscribers. Do this a few more years, I'll be up to 140. All right, let me give him this last cookie. My gosh, what a beggar. Can y'all hear him? He knows there's still one up there. That's the last one. Now he'll go sit down and leave me alone. Good morning, Kathy. She's over on Facebook. How you doing? Bob Sims from across the pond. How you doing, Bob? Good to see you. Hey, there's my old buddy Rick Morphew. How you doing, Rick? Good to see you. Monroe Cook. I won't ever get that name wrong now since you got it on the YouTube thing. He's hanging out with us this morning. Good to see you. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. We had a really good weekend. I didn't do a whole lot, but what I did, I was happy with, which that's what counts, right? We had a big, oh man, torrential downpour, wind at 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And it's pretty bad if it wakes me up, because usually if I'm not a super sound sleeper, but a lot of times I'll sleep right through stuff like that. But yeah, it woke me up 4 a.m. And then, of course, it only lasted maybe 30 minutes because it was moving through pretty quick. And then I remembered while I was laying in the bed listening to it, the wind blowing and the rain just pouring down and stuff. I remembered that I left that window back there. You see how it's, if I can get out of the dang way here, you see how it's only open about that much. Well, I had opened it earlier in the day and then didn't lower it back down. But fortunately, because of all the trees and stuff, we got a big canopy this morning or above the building here. So I don't think it got wet. I came in because I was worried about, my lathe sits right there. And I was worried about water sitting on the bed of the lathe and getting rusty and stuff. But I came in, wiped it down, checked it. It's all right. So David said he's a new subscriber. Awesome. So happy to have you with us. Hey, there's Jesse. I think I missed Jesse. How you doing, Jesse? Then it says, I have a tragic CNC story this morning. Well, I saw something about a video and I started to watch it, but I didn't have time to watch it because it was like time to come out here and do this. So I'll check it out. Hope it's not tore up too bad. But the cool thing is about a Gatton CNC is you built it, so anything that tears up, you know how to fix it. Not a big deal. Let's see. My buddy Bob here says, not done one in a while, so here you go. On this day, Bob's big on those on this day things. On this day in 1776, formal signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence by 56 people. Date most accepted by modern historians. That's good to know. August 2nd. And I guess, is that the day, Bob, that John Hancock wrote his on there real big? So the King of England could see it without any problem. I think that's how the story goes. I don't know. I wasn't there then. Let's see. Jim Sinicola, good morning. All just got back from a northern Michigan vacation with our family. Good deal. Good deal. Hope you had a good time. David Burnett's here. Says back from vacation with a dandy head cold. Uh-oh. Brian Gidney's in the house on Facebook. How you doing, Brian? Glad that you could stop in, hang out with us a while. Hey, there's Jeff Morgan. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you. Ray Wicker said he had a great weekend camping. Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. Wilson Rubottom's here. Bob said he wasn't there either during the signing of that, but sometimes he wonders. I know you probably feel like it sometimes. I tell you what, I got good news and I got bad news. And I already told you the good news the other day. The good news is that because of all this weight I've lost, I've been, all my pants were getting baggy. And I found these, I'm wearing some again right now. Some that are like 2 sizes smaller than what I was before I had the heart attack. And they fit perfect. The bad news is the size right above this that was fitting pretty good. I got right with the first pair of blue jeans I grabbed this morning was those. Wasn't the fat jeans. But now the next size down, they're going to be my fat jeans, I guess. Because I went to put them on, I'm like, now I'm starting to swim in these. So, anyway, but it's all good. Weight's weights down some more. And I don't really have any diet secrets. I think it's just comes down to the fact that because I'm feeling so much better and have so much more energy that I didn't have before, that I'm just more active. I'm up doing stuff, working in the shop, pilling around. And if you're moving, and you didn't used to move, it makes a difference, I guess. So we'll see how much more weight falls off, but I'm pretty happy about that. Had a good weekend. I made a couple little things. I don't have anything out here to show you. They were jigs and fixtures. I made, I think it's going to come in really handy because I don't have any of those high dollar sharpening systems that they have for lathes. You know, there's some of those things, they're like $400 or $500. And I'm like, man, I can't, you know, I just can't afford to get something like that at this point anyway. You know, maybe when I have a lot more tools or something and I, you know, but having fun with the lathe is in direct proportion to how sharp you keep your tools. I found that out for sure. But I've also seen some videos where some guy, now there's a sharpening system called a Robert Sorby Pro Edge, and it's basically a belt sander, but it's got all these little attachments where you can put the like a bowl gouge or whatever, and you lean it against the thing, and the belt's spinning down this way, and you put it, you know, you just go over and touch it up, and you get a good edge on it. Well, there's lots of people on YouTube that show you how to make the little jig that you slide your bowl gouge and different tools in to get that grind that you want, and then you make a thing and put it on, you know, the belt or the wheel, depending on which one you have. So anyway, after watching those, there was a few guys that would go get the Harbor Freight. Yep, I said it, Harbor Freight 4x36 belt sander. And that really piqued my interest because old Dave has one of those. I've had one of those for years. And as a belt sander, it's not that great. It's got the little 6-inch disc on the side, and it sucks. It's not really worth anything. But when I started seeing the thing about sharpening lathe tools, you know, guys would make their own little thing and all that. I'm like, yeah, that's what, now I'm going to use that. So I made a Marius Hornberger, young German engineer that does a lot of crazy YouTube videos. He's really, really a smart dude. He had some free plans for how to make that little fixture that you stick your lathe tool in. So I got the free plans, and of course, you know, one thing about free plans like that, they always expect you to do it the old school way, you know, do everything by hand. And I got CNC stuff, crying out loud. So the plans, I couldn't even import them in and do it. I had to sit there and print it out, and then take calipers and, you know, print it out actual size, and then lay it down, and then totally redraw the thing. But I did it, and it works, or I think it's going to work. I haven't officially glued it all together. I've test fit all the pieces, but I think it's going to work great. And now I've got to, I'm going to get a piece of plywood because I just have that belt sander sitting on that workbench over there. So I'm going to take a piece of plywood and mount it to that. That way it can't move. And when I pull out the little, they have like, you just take a piece of plywood, and I don't know, I'll use this level as a thing. You slide a thing out, and it's got a little, you know, V block right back here. That way you can stick that fixture in. And the key to sharpening those tools is being consistent. When you go to do the thing, you got to get the right angle and all that every time and be able to repeat it. So anyhow, That's what I'll be doing this week. Probably is fooling around with that a little bit. But I think that little fixture jig, I guess it's called a jig. I think it's going to work good. Uh, Another thing I did yesterday. Y'all are probably they're not out here now. Um, they're still inside, but y'all have probably been seeing over here on this table saw. I've had the segmented rings that I cut probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I've been slowly coming in here once in a while and grabbing a ring and got a piece of sandpaper down. I'm trying to get them good and flat and stuff, and there's just no way to get those things really flat without a lot of work and a lot of dust. So I finally said to myself the other day, Dave, you got 3 CNCs in there. Let's make a fixture where when you do these segmented rings, you can mount that fixture. You can put your surfacing bit in the CNC and you can surface the fixture, and then that way put it the same place every time. Pop them in there and figure out an easy way to clamp them, and just because all you're doing is taking about 10 thousandths off a side and flip it over and do the other side. Then you got them just dead nuts flat. So I did that yesterday. I made the fixture. I had 6 rings, I think, and I had to make sure tweak the programs to get them right and stuff. But now that I've got that done, doing these segmented ring things are going to be a breeze. I just make sure when I cut them, well, they don't have to be really, but in this case, I had cut them a little proud of 3/4, so they mic'd about 0.78. So I'd set them down there and I'd take 10 thousandths off one side, then I'd flip it over and take another 20 or whatever off the other one. So basically they're 3/4, pretty much dead nuts to the CNC. And I don't have to breathe all that dust, because the other way I've got for this thing back here, I have a piece of plywood that's got a 12-inch adhesive backed sanding disc on there. So the other way to do it is to take each ring and hold it on there, and but again, the dust flies everywhere, and I'm tired of breathing that stuff. So I figured the CNC was the best bit. Spend an hour or two getting the fixture, tweaking all the programs and stuff for the different size rings, and then that way I can put the dust shoe on, turn on the dust collection, and boom, easy peasy. So now, not everybody's got a CNC, so I know that's. I shall not dare do a video showing me doing that, because I would get all kinds of trolls. Who watched the? Let's see. I'm getting behind on the comments here. Let me back up here. Man, I'm way behind. All right, Jeff's on vacation with the fam in Kansas City. Good deal. Wilson has been in the garden already, pickling okra and making salsa. Man, I'm so envious of you garden guys, because mine turned out a big flop. I mean, I've got dadgum tomato plants growing taller than my roof here, but yielding no fruit at all. Just no fruit at all. Just so disappointing. I will do things I just put them in pots and put them out front where there's a whole lot more sun. Try that next year. Let's see. Bob wants to know, what's the name of your channel? I believe his channel is just called Dennis Nolan, I think. You can chime in there, Dennis, if you're still watching. He may be busy fixing his stuff here. Let's see. Wilson says, liked your YouTube on weed pots. I've made some. Yeah. Well, this is the one I did in that video. pallet wood, just stuff I had laying around, nothing fancy. And it's just to help me get back in the swing. These are good little projects to do when you haven't turned anything for a while. And plus they're good to use up your scraps and stuff, which I have a ton of. So I'll be making some more, but probably won't be doing videos on just when I got, nothing else to do and I want to come out here and turn something. And the cool thing is you can come out here and turn one of these in just a little bit, especially if you're not, worried about shooting video of it. You just come out here and do it. You can knock one of them out in just a few minutes. Gary says you can build your own. All right, I guess he's talking about sharpening system. Yeah, that's the plan. Because I'm on a pretty strict budget right now. So I'm in this no spending mode. I wish the government could get in it, but yeah, I'm in this big no spending mode. So I haven't bought any wood. I'm just using whatever I can scrounge around. And really, when you start looking, I've got a lot of stuff around here. It's just nothing real big. So I have to maybe glue up something if I want to turn something big. But yeah, not buying any major purchases. And I figured, yep, that little Harbor Freight thing will work just fine. I've already kind of used it to touch up some of it because some of these tools back here are Harbor Freight. No, I'm sorry. They're not Harbor Freight. They're the beginner set. I don't know. They might be Harbor Freight. I can't remember. Maybe they are. Anyway, they're like a beginner set. And, everybody says, they're junk. They're not that good. But they work pretty good if you keep them sharp. And as soon as I get some guides and angle pieces and stuff made where I can start getting the same same stuff on them every time, I think that'll be all right. I'll be happy with it. Right. Brian says, I used to use my rigid oscillating belt sander with 400 grit. Yeah, I've got one of those. I keep some pretty hefty grit on that. I think I got 60 grit on mine because I usually use it when I really want to knock something down in a hurry. Rob Schuster's here. Good morning, Rob. Wolverine. Yeah. So even that's too much money for me. I'm like, because when I look at some of that stuff, I'm like, yeah, it's nice, if you got the money, go ahead and get it. But some of that stuff's just not that hard because it's all, like I said, it's all about doing the same thing with the tool every time. So if you can figure out how to make something where you can set it on there and do it, it'll work. Dave Mack says, I bought the Buck Tool belt sander, solid machine. Had the Harbor Freight one, did not like it. Well, I don't like the Harbor Freight belt sander as a belt sander. It's not that great, but I think it's going to be the perfect little homemade sharpening system for my lathe tools. The disc sander on the side of that thing just totally sucked. The little table and all, it's real chintzy, and it's there's no way to really get it tight where it doesn't flex because it's just thin metal and stuff. All right, Bob said he found it, so I think he's saying he found Dennis Nolan's channel. Go ahead and subscribe to him while you're over there, Bob. George says, last night I read 51 on digital thermostat. You can't get that cool in August. That's pretty cool. I mean, cool. Okay. There are too many Dennis Nolans. You can find me at Ozark Arts and Crafts. That's one thing I'm lucky about with my name. You can put in my name, you're gonna find me like that. Um, there is somebody named Danny Gatton. Used to be a country. I guess he still is a country musician or whatever. No relation. So he's on there, but you just don't see many Gattons. We're a rare breed. Ray says garden needs picked, yard needs mowed, dishes and camper need washed, and coffee gonna get better. Oh, and coffee gone. Better get at it. Good day. All right, see you, Ray. Better get busy. Sounds like you got a big list there. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm gonna do, Clyde. Either buy some big old pots, or maybe whatever's cheapest. Go to the dollar store and get some garbage cans or something, and that'll be my garden next year. Let's see. I'm not sure. Mike could not get his tomatoes to produce till he started using tomato and blossom set spray. Yeah. All right. Bob watched the video, I guess. He says, "Ow, that looked bad." Ooh, I'll have to go back and watch it then. If you run out of turning wood, let me know. I have tons of drone and Texas cedar. It'll be a while before I run out of turning wood, Larry. I will have to take a picture that if I can remember when I walk out today after the coffee session, I'll shoot a picture. But I had a neighbor who knew that I was a kind of sort of woodworker. I don't really consider myself a woodworker. I guess I am, but the CNC thing's kind of stuck, and everybody thinks of me as a CNC guy. But anyway, he said he was going to be taking some trees down, and asked me if I wanted any of the wood. And I said, "Well, what are you going to be taking down?" He said, "I don't know. I think it's cedar or something." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take some." And I'm thinking, he's going to bring me a log or something. He calls me up. He says, "Hey, I'm going to bring you some of that." He says, "I'm back from the property down there. I'm going to bring you some of that wood down there." So I'm like, "All right." He comes back pulling a trailer. One of those like big utility trailers like you'd haul lawnmowers and stuff on. And it was full of these cedar logs cut up. I don't know, probably maybe the longest one's 4 or 5 feet. And some of them are like this big around. And he pulled up. He says, "Well, where can we unload this?" I said, "Well, I'm not carrying that stuff from the street down around the back." He said, "Back that thing down." And I helped guide him because there's a way to back around there. It's a little tricky, but I guided him back there and we unloaded. And it's still, I took some of those pressure treated, what do they call them? Landscaping posts or something. And I laid a few of those down, and then we laid all this across there. So I hope it's not rotted. But the pile's, 4 or 5 feet tall. Stupid thing. So yeah, eventually I'm trying to get, because I don't want to just cut a bunch of stuff up and get it brought in here, and because then it'll start getting junky and crowded in here again. And I've got a bunch. You can't see it, but right over here where my lathe, I call it my lathe carousel while I keep my tools. The one reason why I made that kind of cantilever where it sticks out over the, it's screwed to the end of the. Can y'all still hear me? It's screwed to the end of this bench right here, but it gives me, a couple feet of space up under there, and I've got all kinds of stuff, logs and different pieces of wood. I got a box of wood that Ken Moon sent me. I think I won it on some kind of contest he was doing or something. I can't remember. But anyway, but yeah, that's a long answer to your comment there. But yeah, it'll be a while before I run out of stuff to turn. Marcello said he slept in today. That's perfectly all right. Oh, he said his dad could not get his tomatoes to produce. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I guess my time's up. It's time for me to anytime you shoot a video of your Gatton, feel free to put it in the group. That's what part of what the group's for. But all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I got a lot to do today. I got let's see. I'm gonna be well now that I've got all those segmented rings flattened perfectly. I'm gonna be doing that glue up so that I can turn that sometime this week. I'm gonna start working on another segmented project. This one may be an open segmented. I got to run to the UPS store. I got to go buy groceries. God, I hate going to that place. But anyway, I'm about out of everything. And Jack's begging. He thinks I still have one up here. Anyway, y'all have a great Monday. Hit thumbs up on the way out if you haven't already. And we will see y'all tomorrow for a Tuesday coffee session. Have a good one, everybody.